This album was fought over by so many people when we first started doing this podcast about like who wanted to do. So many people reached out and were like, please, can I do the Replacements, Tim? Please. And I was like,
that's what I did. Well, I saw a list and this was down the line. Oh, look, that's a song. And I was like, that's the one I want to do. And so I feel very, very grateful. Thank you.
I didn't realize you were so hip. I mean, I knew you were cool, but like you're hip as fuck.
Nice.
No, but the Replacements were a huge thing for me.
It was a band that like for a lot of people, I think of like, you know, that are like, because we, you know, especially all the artists that I grew up with in the grunge era, I can tell that this is the band that they like loved. And how could you not? There was something chaotic. There was something beautiful. There was something that you never knew what they were going to do, but there
was a melody within the chaos. There was all the things. Yeah.
So when did you get into them?
College, because, and I've been thinking about this because I don't want to mean it to any kind of disrespect to classic rock or whatever, but I went to like all girls Catholic school, and the girls I was at school with were listening to like Van Halen. I saw Blue Oyster Cult. So there's nothing wrong with these bands.
Nothing wrong with them, especially the original Van Halen. Van Hagar, a little different. Sharon.
I saw Van Halen. But I got into college and I started hearing music, and I was like, oh, this is music. This is speaking to me. This kind of, it was just so much more emotionally direct to me than any of this stuff that I had heard previously.
Yeah. And so,
does that make sense? Like, I heard Unsatisfied and I was like, oh, I get it. This is music. Right. You know.
Well, I think there's a moment in our life where it's like we're listening to what our parents gave us, and then it's we start growing into our own appreciation for you know, or for finding music and of course what's on the radio, and then you see that shift where it's just like, oh, this feels like this was made for me.
Right.
Exactly. So this completely spoke to you the first time you heard it. Was this the first record that you heard by them, or did you start right at the beginning?
No, well, I don't think I started right at the beginning. I started at
Let It Be.
Yeah.
Let It Be, which we already did.
I think there was 2 more before that, or 1 or 2 more, but that's the one I heard first.
There were, but that was actually the record we did. We did it. What? How long ago, Jared? Did we do that? A year ago.
Years ago
with David Cross. And what's so cool is that everybody that asked to do this record or asked to do the Replacements are people that were like, oh, these people are cool, man. Like they're all cool. They're all cool. Like literally, like it's funny that the people that love this band.
Yeah.
You know? So, all right. So before we get in, this is diving into the records. We have so much to talk about.
Okay.
But we'll do a little spiel right here. So this is the 4th album and the major label debut on Sire Records by Minneapolis, Minnesota quartet, lovingly nicknamed the Mats by their fan. By the way, if you want to jump in at any time to interject, please feel free. Okay.
I will do. I never called them the Mats though, even though I guess maybe I should have been. Go on.
All right. Don't worry.
They were lovingly dubbed that. Yes.
So as we mentioned in the previous episode, the name was derived from jokingly calling the band the Placemats, which was shortened to the Mats by true fans. This would also be their last record with original lead guitarist Bob Stinson, the older brother of bassist Tommy Stinson. Bob's ongoing substance abuse had made him unreliable and difficult, and he was fired in '86 before the follow-up record, Pleased to Meet Me, which is insane knowing the rest of the band. Like, you have to be a mess if you're getting fired from the Mats. Like, they party.
I was going to say R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P.
And you know that the next record, it said on it, and this is so geeking out, it doesn't say the band, it says people who played on this record are. And then it's just a list of the people who played on the record because it wasn't really the original band anymore.
Yeah,
I'm a nerd.
So along with the Stinson brothers and drummer Chris Mars, main singer-songwriter and rhythm guitarist Paul Westerberg was expected and hoping to build on the burgeoning critical and slight financial success of 1984's Let It Be. This album was going to be the one to break them out of the punk bar rooms and regional circuits and reach the same or similar mainstream success that was happening for college darling contemporaries like REM, Husker Du, who I wore my shirt today to try to be on brand with Minnesota bands, the Minutemen, and X. After some aborted sessions with one of their heroes, former Big Star and Bach Tops frontman Alex Chilton, the album ended up being produced by Tommy Erdelli, who himself was a member and co-producer of a breakthrough punk band when he was known as drummer Tommy Ramone of the Ramones. The perplexing album cover was designed by world-famous artist Robert Longo, who was hired by the record label, and according to Paul, who thought it was shitty, everybody else hated it too, with Paul wondering if Longo even liked it. And if you're wondering about the title of the record after joking around about continuing the theme of the prior record's snarky swipe at and homage to the Beatles' final album, which is the coolest shit ever, that the balls to name a record Let It Be.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's
Crazy.
just so it's like they don't give a shit, dude. Which final album they intended to call this Let It Bleed after the Rolling Stones record from 69. However, Paul said they eventually chose Tim. This is just, I love this. When Morty was telling me about this, Paul said they eventually chose Tim because he thought it was just a nice name. So like coming with the album covers, he's like, what about Tim? He's like, yeah, that's a nice name. All right, let's name it that. Like, that's so cool just to be so like, this is a big record for us. Who gives a shit? Just name it Tim. It's a nice name. We can name our dog that. And in 2023, a box set reissue was released called Tim Let It Bleed Edition, which contained a live concert demos, alternate takes, and new remix and remastered version of the album by producer Ed Stasium, a close friend of Erdelli, who passed away in 2014. These new mixes provide clarity, which reveal many melodic, lyrical, and musical components, which had been hidden in the former mixes' murkiness. I urge fans and everyone to give it a listen. Have you been able to check that out?
Yeah. Which is so weird because I don't usually, I like that janky, kind of distortion that comes with, that's what I thought I liked. And then in preparation for this, everyone's talking about it and I listened to it and I was like, oh, it is really good. It's really, really good. You can hear it's everything. I like them both, but I was surprised how much I loved the remix.
It's almost like listening to, speaking of Let It Be, like the Phil Spector Wall of Sound version, and then the reproduced one they put out years later, which it might just be a little different, but it's still great music, but it's still like, could be clear, could be murkier, whatever, but it's really beautiful. And I think when I listened to this record the first time, and then I listened to Tim Let It Bleed Edition, they're both great, just like you said.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So you want to dive into the record and do some songs and talk about music, life, and art?
Yeah.
All right, let's do this. All right. So the album opens up with Hold My Life. The album opening sounding like Paul was caught unprepared, which is a pretty apt metaphor for a song about recklessness and survival, as evidenced by one of the lyrics. This is so great. Time for decision to be made. Crack up in the sun or lose it in the shade. Mm-hmm. Thoughts on this song? Thoughts on the opener? Like, what do you love about it? Like, what does it make you feel like?
I mean, I think like all the songs, when you hear his voice, I just get excited and I don't automatically listen to the lyrics. Then I do. But I like the opening of that album because it's sort of warm. You know what I mean? In terms of there's a emotionality to it, like you said, that is not always pleasant and front and center in their songs. So it just feels like, I don't know, it feels like I know him. I get it. You know what I mean?
I don't think anybody writes, or not anybody, but he what I love about Paul is that he just knows how to write about being a young person dealing with life, and it's just, he says it so perfectly in so many songs, especially one we're going to get to later, one of the biggest songs on the record. But
I'm curious to see which one you say that is.
Oh, it's Bastards of Young. You want me to wait? Oh, damn it!
You mean it's not Here Comes a Regular?
Dude, we'll get to Bastards of Young, but it's just that might be the greatest opening like paragraph of words about being a young person. But we'll get to that.
That's true.
Hold My Life. So I know it's really early in the show, but because the lyrics and titles seem to go there, you've spoken out publicly about your past illness with the cancer diagnosis, and subsequent treatments changed your outlook on life. I don't want to get too personal, or as I'm sure priorities come and focus when you're putting life on hold to hold it together. But what was that like after the treatment, and did it color your career choices?
No. No. I mean, I always liked to do good things, quality things. I
Sure.
was really lucky. I did a great sitcom called News Radio. I did a great drama called ER. I had great writers, great colleagues, great co-stars. So I don't think I don't think, no, it didn't affect me professionally that way.
Totally.
Really,
No, I get it's
yeah.
but definitely when you talk about like having that perspective, like even like it must have just completely just changed everything, where it's like there's the day before and then the day after, and it's just, how did your views just on living change?
Have you had cancer?
I haven't, but I had a scare, and I mean Jeremiah
Okay.
remembers, like it was I mean this I it puts everything so into perspective that when it told me it
Yeah.
was benign, it was like I don't think I've ever been happier in my life, and it really does. It just
Right.
really shows you how precious life is and how to enjoy every moment.
Yeah. I think I didn't do that. I think I tried to, well, getting through that treatment is very difficult. And you're bald and you're really tired. And
Yeah.
it's laborious, but I tried to focus on that and get through that. And then I really did try to not identify myself as having had an illness.
Yeah.
I don't use the word survivor because you never know if it's going to come back. So I don't identify that way. And I think I was just at the time focusing on like being the healthiest I could during that treatment. And I was, thank God, so far so good. But maybe I'm shallow. I really well could be, but I don't think it was like, oh, now from this point forward, everything's going to be different. I just, I just wanted to get on with my life,
Completely. No,
and
I
I was
completely
grateful to
understand.
be able to get on with my life. That's how I felt.
Being that you were like on a ER as Abby Lockhart, who basically had her own
Hmm.
struggles and situations written in, was it surreal to be in the hospital with all that you knew from the show? And did you have any interactions with the staff about the show?
Oh yeah. I mean, when it was first discovered, the radiologist in the place came over to me, which they're not supposed to really do. And he said, "Oh, you are Maura Tierney." And I was like, "Yeah," because I had finished the show like a year before,
Uh-huh.
2 years before. I don't know. And he said that, knew my name, and said, "Oh, yeah, this doesn't look good." So that wasn't fun.
Yeah.
So yes, that addition to having been on a medical show and being, whatever, publicly known was not fun. But then sometimes you get nice people who treat you really nice because they
Oh,
say, I went to med
completely.
school because of you. Like I watched the show with my mom. I decided to become a nurse watching that show. It put me, I went to med school because of that show. So it's all over.
Yeah, it's what a great show too. I mean, I remember when it
Yeah.
premiered, it's just still one of my favorite dramas. And it's just like with all the shit that you've done in your career, it's just, such a cool like place. And I can imagine like, and I'm so happy you're doing okay. And
Thanks.
and
Touch some.
I didn't mean to like jump into that right off the bat, but that's what
But you
started with,
did.
well, but hold my but it was the song. The song brought that up.
You blame Westerberg.
Blame Westerberg. All right, let's move on to some lighter shit. All right, and
Yeah.
thank you so much for being so open and honest.
Yeah,
All right, so the
yeah.
second song I'll buy, because we started with a heavy conversation, and this is a pretty straightforward chugging song about the bargaining in a relationship. Let's ask something fun and light and easy that we've asked a lot of our guests. So before we ask that question, like thoughts on I'll buy, or
It's not, I mean, I love the whole album, but if I was, I'm listening to it, it's not one of my top 5, but it's
sure.
as presented as a whole, the whole album's great. But what's your fun question?
The question is, what was your first really big and maybe ridiculous thing that you bought when you had your first big break in payday? We always love to find out what
I
everybody got
know.
with that first check.
Yeah. I bought a suit. Was it a suit? No, it was a brown suede duster, like brown suede Agnes B leather jacket.
You
That
still
was
have it?
like duster. I do.
Nice.
And
Oh,
I thought
nice.
I was like the shit in that thing. And I bought it. And it probably wasn't even that much money. But to me, I was like, it was awesome to be able to go buy that thing that I wanted to buy. It was very rock and roll, actually.
Do you still wear it?
That's cool.
No, it's totally out of date. But if I were now, I would look probably homeless. But I do still have it.
You're holding on to it just in case it comes back in style because
Just
everything seems to come around.
Yeah.
It does.
How much was a jacket? You
I
remember?
think it was like $750 or $800. I thought it was a lot of money to me in that time. Yeah.
Jim Jeffries, the comedian, once said that he was at this like John Varvatos thing, and it was like, and Ringo Starr's like walking around, and Jim picks up this jacket. He's like, "This is horrible," and then he puts it on, and then Ringo goes, "He's like, you look good in that, mate." And then he's like, "Well, I have to buy it now." And it was $6,000.
Ringo said it.
Yeah, if a Beatle tells you you look good in something,
$6,000.
yeah. If he's like, if a Beatle tells you look good in something, you got to buy it, you know.
Yeah.
And it's horrible. He's worn it before and shown it to me, and it's not.
And it's ugly.
It's terrible. Yeah, I would never wear it. All right, let's move on. "Kiss Me on the Bus."
Yes.
As many Westerberg songs do, this one perfectly catches an awkward youthful memory of vulnerability, specifically that moment when you have a triumphant public display of affection. Thoughts on this song, and how do you feel about it? What does it do to you?
I love this song. I know it's like a little more on the poppy end of stuff that the replacements do. I love it. And I think when you're talking about capturing like that new feeling of a relationship, there's something tentative about it and so exciting, and energetic. Like there's a triumph in to being able to do that. Like there's a pride, to get someone to do that. And I saw. Am I making sense?
You're making sense. Yeah.
It's like ebullient. Is that how you say the word? Celebrate.
I'm horrible with words, so
he's the wrong person to ask.
I'm the wrong. Morty, my writer, would be the one to ask.
Yes.
Joyous. I saw Westerberg at the Whiskey A Go-Go. Whenever that 14 songs came out, his first solo album, and he did this like crazy, almost like burlesque, like stripper version of Waitress oh no, it was Waitress in the Sky. Sorry, I'm jumping ahead.
No,
I'll
you're good.
save that whiskey story.
Save that story, yeah, because because I want to talk about. I want to talk about awkward public displays. The second single was also the second song that the Mats did on SNL in '86 when Harry Dean Stanton hosted. Have you seen this performance?
I don't know.
You can watch it on YouTube, but they do not replay it because this is when we talk about why the band is cool. I find this cool. I find any band that gets banned.
You might refresh my memory.
Well, so after they performed "Bastards of Young" during the first half of the show, the Mats got so wasted. They got so wasted they switched all their clothing with each other, along with screwing up the song's intro and having to start over on live TV due to cursing. A little unintentional nudity by Bob because he's wearing somebody else's pants, so half of his ass is sticking out. They trashed their hotel room. They were understandably banned for years, which I always find is like a badge of honor. Like Sinead's banned, Rage Against the Machine was banned, Elvis Costello got banned. I mean, Paul was eventually allowed to return. If you've never seen it,
you're saying I can see this or I can't see
it.
Oh
no, it's on YouTube. They just don't play it in syndication anymore. Oh, it's amazing. Jared, if you want to look it up, we'll play it later in the show. It's definitely an interesting clip. Let me ask you this, though. As fame and celebrity and notoriety come with the territory of success, have you navigated those treacherous waters?
Wait, say it again. What do you mean?
So
Say what?
as fame and celebrity and notoriety come with the territory of success, like how do you navigate? Like how do you navigate like Hollywood and the treacherous waters?
Oh, I mean, I have a pretty tight group of friends that I've known for a long time, like a long time,
Mhm.
like as old as this album.
Yeah.
So I don't, I also have wonderful friends that I've made in the business, but I feel like my people, uh, that's who I hang out with mostly. And so, I'm not, press doesn't hound me. I'm not that kind of actor. They never really have. So I'm pretty lucky in that I'm just kind of left alone and I get to do my work. And I have like really good old friends. So I think that's helpful to just
Yeah.
be I'm close to my family too. So I
Do you
don't
live
feel like at the whim of celebrity or show business.
do you live in Hollywood or have you moved out? I mean, you're a certain point in your career where it's like you really don't have to be there as much because
No one does now, but because of COVID. But I live in
Sure.
New York right now.
Oh wait, you're in New York City?
Yeah, at the moment.
I'm in Gramercy.
Oh,
We could have done this live. Yeah, we could have done this live. I could have rented a studio. I could be hanging out with. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude.
Well, in LA, when I'm in LA, I live in Venice.
Yeah.
But I'm here in New York right now.
I love that. You feel more at home here?
I don't.
No, you can tell.
I don't know. I both. I went to college here, so I've been here for a long time, on and off. But I
did you
lived
go
in
to
LA for
NYU
20
or-
years. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I didn't graduate.
You didn't?
No,
I think
but
you're
I
doing pretty
did go
good.
there.
You're doing pretty good. You're doing all right.
Yeah.
You can take it. You're gonna finish it later. Who cares? When did you first realize that was there a point though when you started, like when did you first realize that you existed in the public's version of you and you would be over scrutinized for like just existing? Was there any moment where it was like maybe it was, as you're starting off as an actor in the first role that made you go like, whoa, like this is
for sure. Because News Radio was a show I loved.
so good.
Yeah.
But it was, we didn't get that great ratings. We were a culty type thing, but they moved us around all the time. So we didn't, do well. We were critically acclaimed. And then the next show I did was ER. And I swear, the night after my first episode of ER aired, because at that time, like 35 million people were watching that show.
Oh yeah.
Different time. The next day, people were recognizing me in the street. It was crazy.
Wow.
It was like that. But it was fun. It was fun for me.
I mean, it's always great when you get recognized, you get people compliment you for your work. But I know it's like you get to a certain point where it can become, too much. And I always say it's like, when you go up to meet somebody, it's like do it at the right time, or don't even
The
like go up and
only
meet them.
time I don't like it is someone did it to me the other day. She said, I don't want to interrupt you while you're eating. That's not great if you're, but no, if I'm actually eating like with food in my mouth, please don't interrupt me while I'm eating the food, because that's just embarrassing.
And you're such a nice person, even like on screen. But just all the characters you play are always very sweet and just you have such good energy. So I feel like that's why people feel comfortable probably to come up and approach you. But then it's like that's why I love like when I'm out with Bill Burr, who is known for being like a jerk, and people are like, I hate to bother you. And he goes, you are. And then he takes the picture with him, but he gets to bust chops at the beginning. It would be odd if you came back with like, really? I hate to bother you when you're eating. Well, I've got a buffalo wing in my hand.
That's the thing, especially if it's a buffalo wing. It's like, oh God, can I privately have some shitty food?
Yeah. I love it. All right. Dose of Thunder. Here we go. We're getting into the thick of it. This is co-write with Tommy and Chris, and just understandably feels like they wanted to have a sloppy rocking out moment on an album with so many career highlights. This is probably, it's not a bad song, but this is one of the weaker and obvious backslides into their typically shambolic older stuff.
Yeah. Well, to me, it sounds like a cover. Like I was like, is this a cover of another song? When I remember hearing it, because it's a little bit of a diversion, and I thought, are they covering something else?
Yeah.
But yeah, what you
It's
said.
not a bad song. I mean, it's
No,
just
it just doesn't sound.
it's just
Yeah.
it's one I'm not like I heard it a couple times. I'm like, all right, but now to the thick Waitress in the
Yes.
Sky. Is this the one
Yeah,
that we were talking
baby.
about earlier that we
Yes.
So good.
teased a little bit?
Yeah. Well, it's hilarious. First,
It
of
really
all.
is. Yeah.
And you could never write that song today, ever. It's and there's the thing is, I saw Westerberg at the Whiskey, and he did this version of it that was almost like I said, like a burlesque type. He reorchestrated the whole song, and it was so fucking funny. I won't really forget it. That was I saw the Replacements. First of all, when did this record come out?
86 or 85? Hold on, let me check.
Okay.
85. September.
I
18th.
saw this tour because my friends were in a band called the Astorians, and they opened up for the Replacements in Washington, D.C. So, like, that's crazy. I saw this, don't you think?
Oh my
I'm
God,
also
yes.
really aging myself.
No, I mean,
But,
it's like that's one that's cool that you were, like I said, you are cool if you're going to see them, and especially.
Well, it's my friends are opening, and so we all went to D.C. I was at NYU. So that's great. And then I saw that Westberg show was great too.
That I'm from Washington, D.C., and so is Jeremiah. What was the venue? Do you remember the venue?
I just asked my friend.
Was it 930 Club?
Yeah.
Nice.
Hold on.
9:30 p.m. or something like that.
No, it's 9:30 Club.
Oh yeah.
This is the club that I've seen. Me and him used to go to concerts. I mean, I've probably seen hundreds of shows there, and then I sold it out. I performed there and sold it out. And it's
that's so gratifying.
Well, you get it. You get it. It's like because there's we have so many like losses, and we always forget to hold on to our wins. And if you would have told me that one day I would have sold out this venue that I've watched Radiohead and Old Dirty Bastard and so many incredible bands, we were very lucky to have that. And that the second you said you saw them in DC, I was like, it was either 930 Club or the Black Cat. Everything else, because they're not playing the Warner Theater. I'll tell you that much. Nothing against them, but they're not playing the Lincoln Center.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
It's a huge thing. I should be proud.
All right, I am, and it's that's what's great. But also, I think this is what's cool about life is just being able to sit here and talk to you about this cool record. So they're all wins. If every day feels like Christmas, it's a great life. Famously, when the head of Warner Brothers, their record labels. Well, hold on, I forgot this. So this is a tender satire about Paul's sister, who was a flight attendant at the time. While this may seem overtly, it is. While this may seem overly misogynistic by today's standards, just like you said, remember that when the Mats first started, Paul was in fact
getting coffee.
Also, no, please go. It was also a maintenance engineer, which he clarifies in the song had previously been called a janitor. It's more about how the job titles don't change much of what the actual occupation is. Famously,
and he's not wrong.
No, he's not.
Famously,
famously, when the head of Warner Brothers, the record label's owner, told them that the reluctance to make music videos wasn't going to stand in the way of them making one, Paul said, "Tell you what, you get us on Hee Haw, and I'll lip sync to Waitress in the Sky." This such a cool dude. Speaking of, he's just they just
like the show.
Like the show, yeah.
I don't know that. This is fun.
I love it. All right. Speaking of job,
yes,
go ahead. No, you go ahead. Finish your thought.
What about that video? And it was just like someone's sneakers.
Yeah, it's like it's. I mean,
isn't that for senior video? It's just like someone's foot tapping in front of a.
Morty was telling me we go over this, like we go through the episode before we do this, and he started telling me about some. No, it's fine. He started telling me about some of their music videos, and they're just like it's ridiculous. Like
every giant fuck you.
Yeah, it's 100%. I want to speak of jobs. Did you ever have any notable or crappy ones before you became a working actor?
Sure I did. I mean, I've had. I don't know. It's not that bad. I like to work. I worked in a deli when I was in high school for 4 years, and I smelled like pickles my whole high school thing. Maybe that's why I didn't have a boyfriend. I was a waitress in college. I loved it. I like to work. So I haven't had any truly real
Crappy
shitty jobs.
jobs.
Yeah.
Really? How lucky.
I know. I mean, it's not like, being a waitress isn't always fun, but I was a pretty good waitress. It was all right. It was all right. It's a good jukebox in the place.
Was
It
it
was
like
called Jack the Ribbers.
Oh, really? And this
Yeah.
was where? This was in New York, or this was?
Yeah, it was on St. Mark's or Bowery.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't exist anymore.
I used to wait tables in Washington D.C. area, and then I started in L.A., which I just was terrible at. I couldn't deal with the L.A. people. I feel like there's just being a waiter in New York. It can be because New York people are so fun, the real New Yorkers. But it also you have the like everything changed once I moved out here. It's like I have no tolerance for anything. So if you were probably you know what I mean? It's like it's a faster place. So you're just like, lady, you gotta
I know,
move.
but
And she's like,
I'm
80.
becoming that person on the street, like, it's a sidewalk, like like that. Because there's so many tourists waiting in line for pizza or a donut or some Instagram shit. And I'm like,
What's the longest you've ever waited in line for food?
I don't.
Exactly.
I'm sorry.
No, exactly. We don't wait. We don't wait.
I do not.
I don't want to turn into Soviet Russia, okay? Like just to get a fucking pop-up Cersei's pizza.
It's so true. I'm gonna say that to the line next time.
That's what it is, dude. You ever talk to an old Russian? They're like, dude, I used to wait 4 hours for rye bread. Don't even get me started about ciabatta.
I say snarky things. Like sometimes I'll be walking by the line and I'll just go, you're going to be in this line for 2 hours. Like just a bitch.
You know what?
But I do love New York.
Of course.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They were doing this years ago. They weren't waiting in line for food years ago.
It's instant.
Like I said, it's for Instagram. It's like, that's what sucks is when one influencer posts something that you really like and then it just blows up and now you can't get any fucking donuts at S&K on Wilshire. You're like, all right, dude. All right, swinging party.
Yeah.
This stirring and haunting country tinged ballad is seemingly about our shared individual quiet inner despair, like it's a social event. Track 6. We're in the thick of the record now. Thoughts on this? What do you got? What do you love?
I love, and here's the thing, I'm not a musician, and you said country tinged, and I feel like there's almost like a samba type. How does the samba go? Like,
I have no
idea.
idea.
I don't know.
I wish I knew into the official samba vibe.
It's like
I know it. Were you talking like girl of you? No, that is samba.
Maybe that's a samba, and I'm wrong.
That's bossa nova. As I was doing it, I was like, that's not.
Nova,
But it's close enough. There's like a bossa samba.
Enough.
It's all on brand.
I know this song is very melancholy to me. Like, again, as you said, it's sort of about not understanding kind of where you're trying to go, but not necessarily knowing where you are, right? I would say, but it's also just so pretty.
Yeah, it really is pretty.
It's just a pretty song.
It is a pretty song.
That's the thing about this album. It's all over. It satisfies so many needs.
It really does. And I think a better way to say it is this has like a Burt Bacharach vibe.
There you go. Okay, that's helpful.
That's samba-y.
I don't know. That's probably the wrong word. I like Burt Bacharach better.
Dude, it's apt. Don't worry. To connect this to one of your most popular roles is Helen on 5 seasons of The Affair, whose husband became a swinger unbeknownst to her via the titular Affair. The show became a Golden Globe winner in 2015, and you won for Best Supporting Actress the following year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have is your Golden Globe close? Is it here in New York or is it in LA or is it in Venice?
It's in LA. It's in Venice.
Is it heavy?
No, it's not that heavy.
Really?
It's a regular. It feels like what it looks like.
Okay.
I'm not ungrateful for it.
Of course, dude. And Golden Globes are the most fun award show, by the way. Everybody's drunk.
Yeah.
It's not all uptight.
There's alcohol there.
Exactly.
The Emmys are so long and no drinks. It's like 3 hours of sitting there, and In my case, until I lose, which is no fun.
That's but at least you get to drink through it then.
Twice.
Yeah.
No, the Emmys you can't drink.
Oh,
They're just
the
great.
Emmys. Yeah. You know what? You know which award
Yes.
show? The award show that gets that has the most amount of alcohol? The Nobel Peace Prize Awards. They are getting tanked, dude. I wanted to
As
ask
they
you
should
this.
be.
Yeah,
Yes.
dude. After a substantial career, including movies, theater, and years as series leads on your previous programs, what was life and your career like the day after the Golden Globes party? Did it change, or
No, a little, because I do think because it was recognized by the Globes, I then got nominated for an Emmy, which was, I think that helped all of that. It fuels
Sure.
itself a little bit. But also, here's the thing: I'm a very shy person, and so I was so extraordinarily nervous, and I was very surprised that I won, and I was embarrassed of my speech. So the next day, like a lot, what I was going through was like, that speech sucked, and I didn't give myself a lot of time to be happy about it. I was really
in your
I
head?
don't know. I was in my head about the speech and that it was bad, and I didn't do enough justice to the. I went through a lot of that, which is really a waste of time.
Sure.
But so the very next day, was full of like self lambasting. But
did you write the speech ahead of time?
No, God, no. I was very surprised. I forget who I was up against, but yeah, and I'm superstitious. Yeah, but
so you freestyled the whole thing.
Poorly.
Hey, you spoke from the heart, dude. Nobody. It's like it's all. Did you thank the people you needed to thank?
I think so. Yeah, but I was
somebody pissed like
and the time, and I was wearing my glasses. The whole thing was just like really.
Were you drunk?
But no, I didn't have a sip before my category.
And then afterwards,
just in case. And then afterwards, yeah.
Yeah, good. All right. Let's talk. Probably. I mean, this is the first song I ever heard by them. I love this one to death. This is probably my favorite song on this record, or maybe by them. I mean, then some stuff on some of the other stuff. I love Alex Chilton, but Bastards of Young.
Yep.
If unsatisfied from the previous album, centralized Paul's and his generation's state of mind, sliding into the mind of 80s. This is the Mats rallying cry anthem of dissatisfaction and desire to be heard, to belong, to be recognized, a brotherhood of the isolated. I mean, well, go ahead.
I don't know what else to say. That's a perfect summation of that song.
I mean this sincerely. It's like, because I'm much like you, where it's like I might just hear the song, but I don't read the lyrics. I don't hear the lyrics. I just hear like the phonetic, and I'm listening to it. But this first time I heard this, I just heard that opening line, and it's just perfection of God. What a mess on the ladder of success. You take one step and miss the whole
first rung. Yeah.
I mean, it's almost, it's like, how can you not like identify with that as a young kid, especially I feel like even now, more now.
I was going to say, it doesn't really ever stop
ever
in a way of that. Well, it does. I mean, that's youthful, but that sentiment of like, I'm taking one step and I missed the whole first rung. It's like, damn shit. I'm trying, but it's exuberant.
And this is Paul,
as frustrated as it is.
He continues to sum up the tail end of his baby boomers generation's place on the timeline with the lines, the ones love us best are the ones we'll lay to rest and visit the graves on holidays at best. The ones love us least the ones we'll die to please. Yep. And if it's any consolation, I don't begin to understand them. Yeah, I mean, that's just beautiful. And for those of us who were slightly younger and part of the pop culturally rich but unebued Generation X, it's predated the self-deprecating cynicism of songs like Creep, Loser, Teenage Dirtbag. I mean, this is This is on all of, it's just, it sums up
Yeah,
a
Beck
feeling.
references it in another song, a very similar lyric. I forget what the song is, but it's something about the same thing, like trying to please the people that love us the least. It goes on and on.
Yeah, but we misheard the lyric in the chorus is not the misheard lyric in the chorus is not "We are the sons of no one," but rather "Wait on the sons of no one." I don't know if
What?
that. Yeah, I know it's "Wait on the sons of no one." It's not "we."
Okay, first of all, I have goosebumps. How could I be listening to that song for my whole entire fucking life and
We
not know
should
that
go
that's the
go on
lyric?
Spotify. Go on Spotify
I
and follow
don't
the
read the
lyrics there.
lyrics, but I don't do that.
I get it. I
Listen,
get it.
am I cursing too much?
No, please. This is
Okay.
a cuss podcast. So
Is
dig
that
into it.
really that lyric? Wait on the sons of no one.
Yep.
So it's better, so much better. Okay.
All right. Growing.
Thanks
Let me
for
ask
that.
you. Of course. Growing up as the oldest daughter of a public figure in Boston, so
Yes.
your dad was in politics. Did you
Yeah.
act out to express any youthful frustrations during your rebellious era to establish your independence and autonomy?
No, that I didn't do that till I got to college. My dad was a politician. He was a city councilman for 18 years, and I was a very good girl, and I was quite aware of his reputation. Other politicians, if their kid, you couldn't get caught drunk driving or doing like I really respected him, and I didn't want to get in trouble, and so I didn't get in trouble. And then I a little bit went crazy in college, but not in high school so much. No.
Yeah, because it's like if you get in trouble, then he gets in trouble because it'll
It
be in the
reflects
news.
poorly on him.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I mean,
I
I
was
get it.
a good kid anyway, but that was on our minds, me and my sister.
I don't see you doing any bad shit. I'm not saying you're vanilla. I mean, you got some chocolate and strawberry in you too. But
okay.
no, but I'm saying I know you party, but you're undercover. You got to keep it in. You had to grow up in the public eye.
Right. Yes.
So let's dig into Lay It Down Clown. Here's another sloppy rocker like Dose of Thunder that just sort of is what it is. We can talk about the song, but I really want to use this song to ask you the question because there's not much about the song. I just want to talk to you about working with Jim Carrey. Because Liar is one of my favorite movies. And
a lot of people.
I mean, it's him at his height, and it's just a perfect movie. And literally, like, how hard was that? Because watching the end of the movie and they're showing all the outtakes of him just going off. And I mean, like, were you breaking 90% of the time on set? Were you able to hold it together? Like, was it just nonstop riffing? Because he seems like he's just going off. Because you're literally getting him one of the biggest stars in the world on a huge movie. I mean, what was that like?
To be quite honest, it was very funny.
Of course.
But it was a lot of work. Because you guys saw the funniest outtakes. Like, it was the first movie where he was sort of playing a human. It was like an acting job for him, and he was a father. Like, it wasn't Ace Ventura. It wasn't these other things.
The Mask,
and he was deeply focused, and we would do like 35 takes.
35?
Yeah. Wow. On him, because he would just keep doing the take and keep doing the take. And Tom Shadyac, who was directing, I get it. He wanted to like exhaust every idea that he had, but that's a lot of work.
I didn't realize it was like cute. It was like working Eyes Wide Shut. It was liar. I didn't realize you got shot for a year, for 15 months.
It paid off, but you guys saw the funniest of that. But it was a lot to have him go through all those machinations, and was hilarious. I think he's a little more serious now, but it was a lot of work.
Yeah. Did you have
not
to change
be a downer?
No, you're not being a downer. But did you have to change your like acting approach with working with him? Was it easy? Was it hard? Or do you just,
Yeah, you did, because if there was going to be so much work in the scene with your scene partner, you got to learn to hold a little bit back, because if you're going to repeat it that many times, for me, that's not how I work. My first few takes are usually the best and most genuine. So working like that, I had to realize, you know what, I might have to just, I don't want to say phone it in, but reserve something for myself for when the camera turns around, so that I'm not bored with what I'm doing. Totally. So it does change. It changed it a little bit, because I tend to, like I said, I like coming at the scene fresh. I think I'm better in the first few takes.
Sure. Yeah. What was the hardest he broke you? Was there like, do you remember a take, a line, something that might not have been in the movie or something that was in the movie?
Yeah, but I can't say it.
Ooh, we can't get a 500 exclusive.
I don't know if he would like it. It's a joke he made that I could tell you after. I can't say it.
All right. That's why you need to subscribe to the Patreon, everybody. It'll be there.
I can't, but it was really funny, and I still tell the joke now.
What, you know, and you mentioned something about him being serious. I love that transition that he's made, because it feels like he's actually happy now. And I don't think, you know, it seems like talking to you, and I know like you said, you've been able to maintain a normal life and work a consistent career. But it's like someone like him, it's like, to be that big. Yeah. I mean, to be arguably the biggest comedic actor of the 90s and just and be thrown a lot of money and realize that that's not what brings the happiness. You have to be content with just being alive and existing. It's really interesting. Like I kind of love listening to him talk, because he feels like he just is. I mean, it might seem abrasive in an interview, but he definitely seems to have an outlook that I never would have expected. And a lot of people don't ever get that.
No, and I think he's incredibly intelligent, and like clearly, like there's 600 things going on in his mind at one time, which allowed him that opportunity to act those characters. But it must be a lot to live with, and it seems like he's been able to focus and distill it into a place that I don't know him. We're not friends anymore.
Sure, but
it seems like, yes.
You see something in Robin Williams, like you see it in Robin Williams too, where it's like when you're working. I mean, unfortunately, Robin like wasn't able to handle it, or I don't know what his journey was, but it's to be that kind of comedic mind. As like it's there's you're constantly just probably hearing stuff, because the way he riffs, it's like that's how his brain thinks. I mean, to be able to calm that down. For Jim, it feels like he's probably figured it out, and it's unfortunate from other comedians that I've been friends with that like I said, Robin Williams. It's like it's to be able to do what Jim's done. It's a beautiful thing, and so I just gotta say I love that movie. So I don't think I've laughed harder. And you killed it, by the way, too. So we're just talking about Jim, but you were amazing. We're not just
thank you.
Okay, true.
Well, I'm usually the straight guy, and that's not a bad thing.
No, it's not.
A good straight man.
Oh my God, no. All right, Left of the Dial. This is a love letter to college radio, and also specifically to guitarist Lynn Blakey, who played in the 80s Georgian band Let's Active. Blakey had asked Paul to stay in touch via letters while they were on the road at the same time, and failing to do so, he eventually got to hear her when Let's Active came through on college radio stations as they passed the town before the signal just as suddenly faded out. Song features big stars Alex Chilton on backing vocals. As you'll remember, Alex also provided some of the additional production on the record. I mean, this is a song that's still played on college radio. This is still like alternative, in the rotation. I love this song. Your thoughts?
I love it too. Again, if I was going to pick my favorite 4 songs on the album, that's the least sort of nostalgic one for me, or gets me going. Like Little Mascara might do it a little bit more, but I didn't know everything that went behind it. So now I'll have to listen to it with fresh ears. Now that I'm learning all the things about all the songs. From you.
The more you know. We already talked about it earlier, but I wanted to mention.
Do you remember The More You Know?
Oh, yeah. The best. Yeah, that's the goal of this podcast. We teach you some shit, and then we also find out you don't know you're going to get the questions about your career. You think you're coming on to talk about the replacements, and now we're about to ask you. We're going to ask you about news radio.
Okay.
Were you doing comedy when you were younger, or was it unexpected to book a comedic lead?
It was. but I love the show. I thought it was so funny. I was so happy to get that show. I mean, I have a replacement story about news radio. Do you want to
Take
hear
me
that?
there.
Well, it's more a Westerberg thing again, because that was in 94 and we did news radio. So this was around 95, 96. And like the makeup guy on our show was also the makeup guy on the Larry Sanders Show. And Westerberg was performing there. And he invited me and Dave Foley to go watch the sound check of the performance. So we went over to the Larry Sanders Show and watched the sound check. And it was just like awesome. And Westerberg loved Dave Foley so much and was telling Dave Foley how much he loved Kids in the Hall and going on and on. And I was standing there and I was like, I would like marry you. I've been listening to, but it was funny because I was just very jealous that Westerberg and Dave were having a freaking love fest.
Oh,
but it was still fun.
I mean, it's amazing. And think about like the cast of that show with you, like Phil Hartman,
Stephen Root,
Stephen Root, who is probably the best character actor working. I mean, he is just constantly doing John Lovitz, Andy Dick, and then the greatest voice in podcast history. Which did you know?
Oh, Joe!
Is it shocking that Joe became Joe could sway an election?
Forgot? Joe was on the show. I'm like, oh right, Joe Rogan.
Was he just practicing kickboxing when he wasn't doing a take? Because
he was, he's very, I mean, he does that. He was always that guy, that mixed martial arts guy.
Oh yeah.
But people say to me, "Are you surprised?" No, actually, not at all. He was opinionated. He I'm not surprised Joe Rogan is the Joe Rogan experience right now. No.
Wow, as a friend of his, it's like, and just I remember when I was on the podcast early on when it was just like before podcasting really had blown up, and it's just like it still blows my mind that he was just this meathead, like pot smoking psychedelic taking guy that did Fear Factor, and for him to literally be 20 million listens, and to see what it became, it's insane. It's still insane. It really is.
But is it surprising to you? He doesn't care what anybody thinks.
No, he doesn't
say whatever he wants. That's why people like to hear that.
Sure,
people like to hear someone who's not full of shit.
Sure.
I think. Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? How do you balance out, decide on between more commercial and more left of the dial independent projects? Like, how do you?
I do work with a downtown experimental theater company called the Wooster Group, which is like, it is experimental theater. So whenever I can, whenever they want me, like in April, I'm going to London to perform with them after this job. So like, my stuff that way I do in the theater. I don't really, my non-commercial, like artistic experiences with this group.
Yeah.
So I don't really look for it in movies.
So you don't need it because you get to really open up. You get to do it. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like wild. Yeah. It's really fun.
Oh, I forgot to ask this question about the news radio thing, but as I'm looking at the picture of the cast, who made you laugh the most? Was it Phil Hartman, Stephen Root, David Foley, or Andy Dick, or Joe Rogan?
I don't know. That's a really tough one. Andy was hilarious. Vicky was hilarious. Phil's funny. This is really, I don't know. I don't know. Everyone was really funny. I know that's not a really great answer, but it's true. Like it was really spontaneous and we were all pretty young. So at any moment, anyone could just come up with something, including the writers. Like we just had fun.
Yeah, Andy is, peak Andy Dick is just one of the funniest people when he was on the Ben Stiller show, and
so funny.
I mean, Phil Hartman wrote
uniquely funny too. No other person.
And a complete genius on stage when I've seen him. Dave Foley, Kids in the Hall, but it's like, but Phil, I think Phil is the one that it's really sad that he's gone because he was so incredibly funny, a part of some of my favorite movies and like Pee-wee's Big Adventure and it's so much shit. So, and that was one of the main reasons I tuned in because I loved him and Dave from Kids in the Hall, and it just turned into one of my favorite TV shows. So what a cool
he
gig,
was
man.
a very also nice man.
Oh yeah,
very, very nice man. Yeah.
All right, so let's just move on to Little Mascara. This is more of a delicate, introspective track with emotional undercurrents about small gestures, rituals, and fragile adornments we use to mask ourselves. Thoughts on the song? Or
I don't know, but I love your. Do you write these?
Morty does. I don't write this. Morty goes over with me, and he basically hammers all this stuff into me, and
they're really well done. It's sort of, I'm like, okay, good, got it. That's a really good explanation of the song.
I've been working with him since very early on. He was a brilliant musician, and he just loves music. And he, so before the podcast, like I'm working on this like 2 hours before, where he's like, all right, so Paul Westerberg's working as a janitor, and then he meets Tommy Stinson. They're in the basement. He knows, sometimes he writes like too much, where you're like, he's like, just so you know, on the day that they wrote this song, Paul was wearing mismatched socks. I'm like, why the fuck do we need to know that, dude?
Morty's smile went from big
really
to...
good.
No, it's awesome. Dude, it's awesome.
I mean, it's like that's a thoughtful examination of the song. And
he is so good with words, too. That's why I was saying sometimes he'll write words that I have no idea how to say them, so he has to like write them out phonetically. Like every person's name that's come up on here, he's literally writing it out like, like for like a 2-year-old. It's like, what was the name earlier?
Was ebullient the right word? Can someone tell me?
Yeah, Morty doing a lesson.
Yeah, he's on the thing. Was that the right word, Morty? You can pop in. All right, now here we go. There he is. What is it?
Oh, we can't
hear you, Morty.
The way she used ebullient was correct. It's shiny. I mean, it's another word of just sort of saying glowing.
And I said it about a song correctly.
I think you were talking about "Kiss Me on the Bus" or a feeling.
Yes, okay.
Of ebullience, a feeling of feeling that bolstering, that
shiny
expressiveness. Yeah, that expressiveness you have when you're young and you're on a bus. You're not in control, but you're like with the date. And my first date was a bus into Westwood to go see Irreconcilable Differences. So that's how old I am. And now remember Drew Barrymore, Ryan O'Neal, Sharon Stone with a big part, and Shelley Long.
Oh yeah, Shelley
movie, her first like big movie role. Like
I thought it was True Beverly Hills.
Shift. No, she did Night Shift before Cheers.
Oh yeah,
and then she this was like this sort of like the girl from Cheers is in a movie with Ryan O'Neal. It's a forgotten movie, but it's actually.
Yeah, I think you're the only person that's ever been that excited about it.
I got kissing on the bus. That was the best part of the date.
If you really want to check out, I think you'd love his band, All Day Sucker. He's a brilliant musician, brilliant singer. So check it out. Thank you, Morty. Having started as a theater actor, do you have any rituals and processes for even superstitions that you bring to each new role?
Yeah, it depends. Depends. Sometimes I will wait until the very last possible moment to put on my costume or do whatever, because sometimes in the theater I want to be as off kilter as I can before I go out there, so that I'm not too much in my head. I've done other plays where I had to do this one play where it's basically a 30-minute monologue, and I would have to do that monologue twice during the day. I would do it once when I woke up, and then I would go to my dressing room and do it again. So there was every single, I would just run it. And if I made a mistake, I'd go back to the very beginning. So it depends on what the piece is. Yeah. But I do have stuff I need to do, whether it's over rehearse it or whatever, or put off as long as I can, basically till I walk on stage.
Yeah. Do you have
you sound fascinating.
No, I get it. No, it is fascinating. I always find it my actor's process is very fascinating. It's like, do you do the same thing in theater that you do for television and film? Because I can't assume you because there's so much more waiting in film, and and in television. So
yeah,
do you still try not to get dressed into the last second? They're like,
I do. I don't like sitting around in my cop uniform. You know, I'm on Law and Order now. Like I don't like to sit around in costume. It ruins it for me. I like to put the costume on and go to set. Like, so partially, yeah, in that sense, I don't like waiting around like ready, because then your energy gets all messed up.
have you met Dick Wolf?
Yeah.
Is he cool? I've never seen a picture of him. I didn't know if he was a real human being. I feel like.
What am I gonna say? He's not cool.
No, he's not cool. I'm not saying that. I was just like, it's just you.
He's my boss.
He's like one of the most important people. Law and Order is like one of my favorite shows. There's like 45 of them. I mean, the guy, it's like, I almost feel like it's like the Hudsucker Proxy. It's like, is he real? He real?
He is real.
Yeah,
and he has a party once a year, and we all come to it, and it's very it's just wild, because like Dick will make a speech, and then everyone just sort of comes and pays homage to Dick. There'll be a line.
That's awesome.
But people, saying thank you, or like kissing the ring, sort of. But he's been nice to me. Well, I sit next to him at those dinners. He's nice to me.
He's dude. He's so many. There's people that have been able to work. He's created so many jobs, not just for actors, but for crew and and the shows are great.
Probably it's thousands of people.
Yeah, and dude, Law and Order is a show that you don't have to watch. You could watch season 8, episode 4, and you're like, you got it. You're entertained.
The point of it.
Exactly. It's like it's genius. It's genius. All right, final song on the record. Here Comes a Regular. This acoustic guitar ballad recorded in one take by Paul alone.
It was.
Yeah, who also overdubbed the little piano solo section and likely played the uncredited cello-sounding synth at the end, is a poignant and melancholy ode to his fellow local barflies at Minneapolis CC Club that carries with its comfortable regularity a sad shame. I thought this was a great way to end the record. I didn't want it to end, but yeah, dude, I feel like 11's perfect. Do you have thoughts on this being the final song? Or any thoughts on the song you want to add?
Yeah, I think it's beautiful. I mean, I think it's okay, I'm gonna use another big word.
Go, hit me.
Onomatopoeic. I don't know if I'm using this correctly either, but it sounds like exactly what it is. To me, that sound, I've been a regular at a bar. I've not liked that feeling, except liking the feeling that you are, there's shame in it. There's comfort in it. And the song is just so, again, pretty, but it sounds like this kind of yearning. It's almost like the inverse of unsatisfied. It's like the beautiful version of unsatisfied. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Because it's not working, right? But it's not loud. It's quiet, but it's the same sentiment.
Yeah, no, I agree. I want to end this, and we might have kind of mentioned this already, but we were talking about, because I love that you're still doing the theater with having that theater troupe that you do when you're going to London. Do you prefer the regularity of the television series compared to theaters and movie, or like, if it's up to you, what do you prefer the most?
It's always different. I mean, I have worked, this is now broadcast television that I'm doing again. It's more work. It's like 22 episodes. And I love my job, but when I was on streaming, when that used to be more of a thing, you get more freedom with language, with content. You can curse. You could go to darker areas. So there's a little more creative freedom in that kind of television. And this, it's a little more rigid and structured. So you have to find the freedom in there to be creative with what you're, which I sometimes like to try to find a way to be creative when there's restrictions around it. But I haven't done a movie in a while. So
Twisters.
I mostly work until, oh yeah, I did that.
The Iron Claw, like, this is all like last year. The fuck, dude?
Well, that was years ago she shot it, right?
She's so dialed in on Law and Order right now. You're like,
no.
You're in the
Twisters.
thick of it.
It's a great movie. I worked on it for 4 days though. I was in and I was out in Oklahoma City. And Iron Claw. Yeah, I forgot about that. That was a while ago. But yeah.
It was a great movie, by the way. But I'm not a big
movie.
It was really, I knew I'd heard of that story of the Von Erichs, but I was out with, I was in Arizona during, I guess it was last 2 years ago, 23. And it really was emotional. It was great. It was a really great movie.
Yeah.
But
Sean
Twisters
worked
though.
very hard on it.
Twisters though.
Twisters
I'm an original Twister guy.
Yeah.
Love Twisters though.
Are you throwing some shade on me?
No, I'm not throwing shade. I'm just, dude, Bill. Come on,
it does sound like it.
Bill Paxton.
I recently also watched the original one, and it's great. It totally holds up.
It totally holds up. But
because Jan de Bont actually dropped trucks. There wasn't CGI and stuff like that. Like those were practical stunts. A lot of them.
I love that.
Not to sound like a geek, but
and for little people that don't know, Jan de Bont directed Speed. I forget what he did.
Oh shit! Was it Jan de Bont?
It was
Jan
de
Bont.
Bont.
Twisters.
Yeah,
Twister?
No, you're right.
Okay.
It was Jan de Bont, and then he did Speed, and then he did Twister. And Morty was talking about going to see that movie on a date. I took the hostess from the Outback Steakhouse in Germantown, Maryland, on a date to see the original Twister.
This is why you guys work together. You like to bring dates to movies.
I mean, I don't do that anymore. Now it's like now I'm just dinner and then walk around New York or concert. Always fun.
Okay.
I mean, we're in the greatest city for live music. Like New York is hands down. I mean, last week I saw The Cult, Rachel Yamagata, and My Morning Jacket 3 days in a row.
Where'd you see The Cult?
They were at the Beacon.
Oh, I didn't know.
If you want, I think here that's something you might really dig before we wrap this up. There's a website called Oh My Rockness. OHMY Rockness, and it'll tell you every concert that's happening in New York City and the surrounding areas, like in a 15-mile, like there's maybe Long Island or like Jersey City might be in there.
I'll check it out.
Dude, it's really cool. If you're ever like, oh, what should we do tonight? You go on there, you'll be surprised who's performing in New York.
Now, how does The Cult hold up?
Oh, they were great. They were great.
Yeah.
They were great. Like it was, I didn't know a lot of their music. I only knew 3 of their songs that I was really a big fan of. She Sells Sanctuary, Wildflower, and then his voice, he still sounds good, but it's like he's not hitting the notes that he used to.
Yeah.
But as Morty and me always say, it's like if there's anybody that you like or anybody that's famous that you've ever wanted to see, like go see him now, because you never know when. Yeah, but Tom Petty, dude. I'm so bummed that I never got to see Neil Diamond live. I mean, it's just I would have. It would have ruled.
Is he dead?
He's not dead. He has Parkinson's, and he quit touring a few years ago. And right before I started really making money, where I've been able to go to see shows, and it's like I love it. So the Beacon's one of the most beautiful venues.
I saw Tom Waits there.
Did you really?
Yeah.
We've done how long ago?
I was married, so it was a long time ago, in the early 90s, maybe. He did like a resident. They weren't calling it that, but he did like 3 or 4 nights there. And I think I'm right. It was the Beacon. I'm pretty sure.
It seems like that would be the venue that he would play at, especially Upper West Side. It's like a 3,000 seater. I could see a lot of people do residencies there.
It might have been someplace else.
Oh no.
Because it was flat. The Beacon goes like this, right?
The Beacon has like there's 3 levels.
Yeah.
It's not.
This is fascinating, everybody. Let's just say I saw him at the Beacon.
We'll take that. We'll move it along.
Yeah. I saw him. I'm live.
All right. So, let me show the lyric sheet. Morty, what's the lyric sheet you want me to show? I don't know if I'll be able to pull it up. No. Morty, he sent me something.
The actual at the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Anybody who's a fan, first of all, if you've ever seen the first album, Sorry Ma, Forgot to Take Out the Trash. Liner notes are fucking hysterical. What Paul writes for each song, if you get a chance, look it up.
I had that CD a million years ago.
And if you look on the inside, you open it, it's got Paul's writing for each song where he talks. I don't even want to diffuse the bomb. This stuff
Okay.
is so funny. So he has the original lyric sheet of Here Comes a Regular in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. I sent it to Josh. You can look it up, pull it from your thing. But what's amazing are the lyrics that didn't get used, but hearing his frame of mind, because I have to assume he's referring to himself, but also probably Bob, because
Oh yeah.
you know, you got to
Yes.
imagine where this is coming from. I mean, he's the
Yeah.
only one, as we know about Westerberg. There are similar songs on earlier records, Within Your Reach off Hootenanny, where it's just Paul. It's just Paul, you know, doing his stuff. And then obviously the Last Replacements record was only going to be a Paul solo album, which ended up becoming, you know, the Last Replacements album. When you hear this song and you know that it's just him sort of singing it. I mean, I've cried. Anybody that's ever questioned their own substance abuse or anything or alcoholism, but if you look up the lyrics, find the lyrics, and you'll see the lyrics that didn't get used.
But how do I find that again?
Oh, it's right. Hold. I don't know how. I sent it to Josh.
I mean, I would have to. Let me see if I can send it to Jeremiah real quick.
Yeah, just stick it, or you could stick it in the chat, I think, or he can.
I'm
find
like,
it.
oh my god, if you stick it in the chat, I'm gonna be like, shit.
It's so, but it's so cool in his handwriting.
Oh, chat.
And seeing that
I can probably Google it.
Here, I'm sending it to Jeremiah. Here we got it.
It's so cool. Like when you see it, it's just something about, and then it's, you know, it's in handwriting, and it's got, you know, his little lyrics on the bottom, the lights come on, and, you know, you could see him and how he simplifies it for the record, but how deeply he goes into details about specific, like the police came, they said you couldn't stay.
Yeah.
Like he really goes into more of the, I want to say sort of the alcoholism of a thing, you know, the police had to be called. And so when you read it, you know, alongside some older guy said, you can't miss what you ain't had. I'm sick of everything my money can buy. He said, you're crazy and stupid. I said, yeah. You know, lyrics that didn't end up making it. Yeah. And when you hear the final song, it's just a point. I mean, I get choked up about it. Just a poignant song. And knowing the Replacements, knowing the Matt's history of sort of snatching defeat from the jaws of victory.
Right.
And their bootleg record is called The Shit Hits the Fans.
Oh, there it is.
Look, I mean, look, just.
Yeah. I had
the
that
first
too.
line where you're like, that's a great line. Cool. But then as you get into it and you start seeing some of the things that aren't used, it's so, I mean, it is so amazing how many verses he had. I mean, this is like a Bob Dylan length song.
Yeah.
You know, I was going to say that earlier, but except that to me, it's like better, but it is kind of like a Bob Dylan song.
Really?
Yes, I just said better than Bob Dylan. Please don't hate me.
When you look at this and you see, especially, I love process.
Yeah.
When you see somebody's writing and you see what their first, like their absolute vomit of what it was, and then they scale it back, and you end up with this perfectly poignant, closer to an album of shambolic.
Really
I mean, this is the record. Anyway, throw me into the room again.
So
anyway, you guys have a fun job, huh?
I mean, this is what's great about. It's great about, like, I tell this people all the time. It's like there's so much music that you never thought you were going to experience, and I mean, or bands. I went most of my life without listening to this band, and now I'm like, I went to the house. I went to the Let It Be house last time I was in Minnesota. So it's just be able to listen to these records is like it's the most beautiful music, some of the greatest music ever written. And I mean, the fact that this is in here, it deserves to be. And it's subjective, but I mean, you got to make a case for every one of these records. And so before we do our final questions, I just want to thank you so much. I know you got to get out of here.
Thank you.
This is ruled,
fun.
dude.
I hope I get nervous. So
no, God, no. And I'm sorry if we went too early on the stuff. I'm really happy you're doing great. And I love you on Law and Order. Everything you've done. I'm a huge fan. Never forget Twisters. You know, never forget it. 9/11. Never forget 9/11. Never forget Twisters.
Okay.
All right, these are the questions I ask everybody. This has been a blast. Thank you for being so cool, dude. I mean it. What's your favorite song on this album?
Oh, it's probably Here Comes a Regular.
Nice. Is this a no skip record? I think. Oh no, good. Finish thought. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I do skip some of the stuff.
So it's not a no skip. All right.
It's not a no skip.
Can you fuck
Right.
to this album?
Oh. No.
I don't think so either. It's
I don't think so.
because he's such because then you start hearing the lyrics and they're a little too, just they're too deep in certain moments. It's almost
too
like
deep, and then it's like because no.
Al Green would be far better. All right, what would be your elevator pitch to get someone to listen to this record?
Oh,
How do you sum it up?
I would say again. I don't know if I could do that one. What's yours?
Well, I don't want to cheat and
See?
give you mine.
Well, why not?
I would say this is that if
cheat at pool.
I would say this if you're this is for someone of my age in like their 40s, if they've never listened to this record, it's just something that all the music that I love growing up has been influenced because of this record.
See, that's why it's hard for me because I've known this music since I was 23 years old. So it's hard for me to like put it into a language that's not like woven into the fabric of my musical history and knowledge and the replacements and then Husker Du and then the Pixies. And then like, I don't know how to parse it out because it's just, do you know what I mean?
I know exactly
what
you mean.
How to tell someone else to like it because it's part of this way I grew as a.
You could have said like it spoke to me when I was at a certain age, and I feel like it even when if it was then, if somebody today was listening to the same record at that same age, and they pay attention, and obviously it's music has changed, but it's like if you really dig into it, I mean, this will affect you, and especially it's some of the But like I said, like Bastards of Young is just it sticks out so much, and it's like I wish I would have heard that when I was younger.
Oh, that's what I'll say. Well,
yeah,
I did hear what you said. Pretend I said it. Put it in my mouth with AI.
Perfect. We'll do that. We don't. I love that you think we have that budget, but
it's free. I'll send you a link.
Oh, perfect. All right. Please promote away anything. I know you're on Law and Order now. Do you have anything coming up that we need to look out for? It's
No, that's it. I was just excited to talk to you guys about this. I'm on the show, Law and Order. Yeah.
Dude, congrats on all your success. You're such a sweet human being. I'm really, really like I always get nervous when I'm like talking to people that I look up to, and you just are a very, very calming energy. So thank you for being cool.
Well, thank you.
Please come back if we find another record for you.
Yeah, I come back if you're talking about PJ Harvey or Kate Bush.
We wish we would have known that when we did PJ Harvey. We already did stories. She's one of my favorites because of this podcast. We did stories from the city, stories from the sea, and then we did Rid of Me. Is it Rid of Me or?
Yes, it's Rid of Me.
Oh, it's so good. Dude, you're cool.
So
dude.
Good.
You're pretty cool.
Kate Bush comes up and not running up that hill. I'm talking about
running up that hill.
All right.
Thank you so much.
And the record.